So, just want to talk a little bit about what you guys worked on today. First of all, just want to say I'm pretty proud. A lot of people are still working really hard. Just want to show you. I'm gonna share my screen now. Kind of show you. Um, you look. This is just today. I can scroll through and look at like every single day, how long you're working, how many skills you're leveling up. Skills without progress might be you didn't get it right the first time, maybe you did it the second time, or you're working on something that I didn't assign. But that's okay. Look at these people doing really good. Desiree got 105 minutes. Hayden 62, Montez 41, Sarah 38, Wajon 37, Kevin 34, and so forth. But also another number that we can look at and just scroll on down. This is everybody that worked. We got about 18, almost 20 people. All right, that's everybody that worked. And over here, the second number is skills leveled up. And so the highest skills leveled up is Kevin, Sarah with 5, and Avery with 4. And see, to draw attention to this, even though she only worked 9 minutes, she knew what she was doing. This is percents, decimals, fractions. So it's pretty easy if you know what you're doing. So good job there. So now I want to show you a couple of problems that people worked on, okay, and just how to do those really quickly. All right. So I'm going to annotate it. And just whenever we're dealing with percents, you can always, you need to be thinking is over of equals percent over 100. And when you think that way, then you should be able to draw a mathic trick. Okay. So whenever we're doing percents, anything that's a percent or a ratio or rate, anything like that, unit rate, we can always do mathic trick. But with percents, that magic number, what's that magic number with percents? It's 100. 100 always goes in the bottom right. So I got 100 right there. So I know that's my 100. So if I've got a number 1.27 as a percent, it's one whole, and I need to convert it to a percent. Well, what is 1.27? It's 1 and 27 hundredths, or it's one whole and then 0.27. So 1 and 27 hundredths. That's how you've got to read it. You've got to read that. It's 1 and 27 hundredths. So it's 1 and, oops, I'm going to do that. It's 1 and 27 hundredths. So it's one whole and 27 hundredths, but you've got to know that one whole is also the same as 100 hundredths. So one whole equals 100 hundredths. So one whole equals 100 hundredths, right? So I could just take that 1 right there and I'm going to erase it. I could just put it right here by the 27. So I've got, let's see, right there, 1. So I've got, well, that don't look right. Here, I'm just going to erase it and write 127. Okay, seeing you watching with me, stay with me, stay with me. 127 hundredths. All right, well, then I already know the answer. It's going to be 127%. So my answer is going to be 127%. 27%. All right, so that's my answer is going to be. You could cross multiply and divide, but you don't have to. Why would you do that? You get 100 on the bottom. It's the same, right? So so there you go. There's one way to do it. Here's another way to do it, okay? You've got 1 and 27 hundredths. Here's another way to do it. I've got 1.27. What's that equal as a percent? What's that equal as a percent? All right, well, from a decimal, here's a little saying that we would have learned, and I think we may have, I don't remember. From a decimal to a percent, 2 places to the right. From a percent to a decimal, 2 places to the left. And what that means is I'm going to move my decimal. When I'm changing a decimal to a percent, I'm going to take my decimal and I'm going to bump it over 1, 2 places. So my decimal is now right there. So what number does that now give me? It gives me 127%. I don't like that. I'm going to put it right here. Gives me 127. Better work this time. Whatever. I'll give up. Come on. I can get bored. All right. 127%. So 1.27 equals 127%. So from a decimal to a percent. Decimal to a percent equals, or from a decimal to a percent, 2 places to the right. Okay, you got that. Decimal to a percent, 2 places to the right. Screenshot this or remember this video or whatever else. Make sure this makes sense. If it doesn't, please ask me a question. So if from a decimal to a percent, you just move it 2 places to the right, what if it were a percent? What if you were going from 127% back to the other way? You would just move the decimal the opposite way. From a percent to a decimal, 2 places to the left. So you could do it that way. Again, you could still set up one of these if you wanted to in each case, but moving the decimal 2 places is the easiest way to do that. All right. So remember, 1 whole equals 100%. 1 whole is 100 out of 100. 1 whole equals 100%. So hopefully that helps. If not, ask me some questions another time. Now let's look at another problem real quick. Now how would we change a fraction to a percent? How will we change a fraction to a percent? What percent is represented by the shaded area? Well, first you got to know what the shaded area equals, and you should be able to do that. You should be right now trying to figure out what was like, oh, what does that mean? I know what that is. Well, look, you got one, this is a whole, and it's 4/4. This is a whole, this is 3/4. So if you got 4/4 and 3/4, what do you have? You have 7/4, or you have 1 and 3/4. 1 and 3/4. So that equals 1 and 3/4. What percent is that? Again, now that we have a fraction, we can change it to a percent. So what you can do though is you know that 1 whole is equal to 100%, right? So I know that if I'm gonna figure this out, I'm gonna break this up into this equals 1 plus, I'm gonna break it up. Watch, 1 plus 3/4, right? Okay, I'm gonna bring it up further. Watch this. Watch this. You watch this amazingness. 1 equals 100%. So 1 is 100%. So what is 3/4 equal to? What is 3/4 equal to? So I'm gonna come back to that in just a second. So now I can use my mathic trick. You can use that mathic trick. It's so powerful for you. I told you, remember? This is the most important thing you're gonna learn. How do you solve the mathic trick? Cross, multiply, divide. How do you solve the mathic trick? Cross, multiply, divide. And then how do we do a percent? This is a percent problem. It's got percent in it. It says percent problem. Annotations, remember? All right, and then you cross, or no, where's the 100? You got 100 in it. So is over of equals percent over 100. Is over of equals percent over 100. Put 100 in the bottom right. Well, then you have, we're looking at 3/4 right here. Sorry. We're looking at the 3/4 right here because we already got 1 is 100%. So what do we do with the 3/4? We're going to put it right here. 3/4. Okay. 3/4. Okay. It's really cool. So we can always figure out, it's a mathic trick because we can always figure out that part. So we cross multiply and we divide. I do this right here. The yellow just to show. Remember how to do the cross multiply and divide? You remember? Cross multiply. You can barely see that. I hope you can see it. And then divide by the other number. Okay, so how do I do that? 100 times 3 is 300. Get out your pencil and paper. No, don't do that. Just get a calculator. Calculator. Calc. Ooh, there's a calculator app. And it's going to do 100 times 3 is 300. Divided by the 4 as the other number equals, oh, so that's my answer. So that's 75. So go back over to my texts and I write 75. 5, but don't forget what that meant, what that represented. That's what the 3/4 was. So now I'm gonna take my 75 and I'm gonna change my color here. So you know that's what we're figuring out here. This is, go back, I'm gonna do some undoing. Make this 75. And that 75 goes right here. 75%. So 1 is 100%, 3/4 is 75%. I bet some of you did it in your head. Today, worked with Evan, and he could just do it in his head. If you have a good understanding of percents, a lot of these you can just do in your head, all right? So that's the answer to this one, is we add 100% plus 75%, and the answer is going to be 175%. If you didn't get that one right today, that's okay. Go back and try to do it tomorrow. You guys did a great job. This is just some quick feedback on how you did today. There were 18 people that worked. Keep working. I'm so proud of you. Some of you get up really early working. Some of you wait till later in the day. Some of you maybe do it every other day, but a lot of you are getting 100 minutes a week, and that's really good. Just keep it up. If you need a Zoom session, let me know. Have a great rest of the night. I guess I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna stop sharing and in my, and how do did I record it? Yeah, I did. Stop.